The library is a place that my whole family goes to, and it's our weekly check-in in Shelburne, where we all, it's a place where we all go every week pretty much, and it's changed my life in that it really has bound me to this community a lot. I've met a lot of people here, and the librarians know my kids as they grew up.
The Pierson Library has enriched my life greatly. I've been coming for over 40 years. My daughters grew up coming here every Saturday, and now I take my granddaughter to special activities. So it's just a wonderful, rich community resource.
Knowing that the staff is so obliging when it comes to finding a book, either ordering it new or borrowing it from another branch. They're always so obliging in that respect.
Well, I have to say, the favorite thing about the Pierson Library isn't a thing, it's the people who work there. They're always very helpful, and I enjoy seeing them when I come to get books or movies or have to use the computer, and it's a very nice place to socialize as well.
Well, now that I'm retired, it's a great place to come and read a newspaper in the morning and drop off, pick up new books, DVDs. So that's my life.
It's given a real sense of community within the area, I think, and for me, just to walk in here, and like any library, books are your friends anyway. And I think that it's been, again, going back to the comfort level, you can lose yourself in a library and enjoy the atmosphere.
Well, it's very convenient. I live in Shelburne, so I use their CDs for travel quite frequently. I like their new book section especially, and they have a lot of large print editions, which is helpful to me. And I use the computers at times. It's helped me. They've also helped me if I had questions on my cell phone or iPad, which come out.
I like the Pierson Library because it is a place that I can go to find inspiration and knowledge that I can then take out and share with the world. It's also a place that I get to bring my therapy dog, and we get to hang out and help to teach other people about why therapy is so good for them, and also to help spend time with more books and stuff like that, which we love, right? We get to learn the alphabet.
The book clubs. I especially love the cookbook club, the puzzle exchange, the genealogy class, and how could I forget the book fair?
The librarian and her whole staff, Reggie, Carol, the two Katies, the one upstairs and the one downstairs, they're all very knowledgeable and they're very helpful. Whenever I have any kind of a question or problem, they immediately stop what they're doing and they help me with whatever I need. Whenever I walk through the door of the library, I have a very pleasant feeling.
The Pierson Library in particular saved my bacon. I got involved with storytelling and stuff after I'd been through cancer treatment, actually, and getting involved and working with the children. I'm sure that all helps you heal, and you feel much more part of the community. And it's been great fun seeing all these children grow up.
For the past several years, the library has allowed me to teach classes of genealogy on their behalf. Every time I teach one of those classes, I learn probably as much as the students in it do. And that pretty much defines for me what a library is. A place of discovery for people of all ages.
My favorite thing about the Pierson, the people who work there, because as far as I can tell, all of them go the extra mile to do things to make people happy. I do a lot of volunteering with Katie, and I know that she stays up late at night working on projects for the kids to do. I know that she reads voraciously so that she can recommend books for children, and I think that in particular, just her enthusiasm and her warmth shine through.
Well, I think the nicest thing about the Pierson is that the staff. Without the kind of staff that we have, this would not be the same place, because personally I think this is a pretty dreary library. It has no real atmosphere to it. But when you come to the front desk and you get a big hello and you get a big smile and people know your name, it just makes me feel good.
For me, the Pierson Library is all about story time. And story time means families coming together to share books and stories and music and crafts. It really depends on the day and the week and the month and whatever the wonderful children's librarians have cooking up for the community.
Big ways, because I'm always looking for new ideas, and the Pierson Library is always ready to supply me with books that I'm looking for or interested in.
One of the nice things about having plugged into the library here is that I've met a lot of people I wouldn't normally have met, and that's when you're new in a community, that feels very good. It also has enabled me to find out more about the area and about Vermont and about Chittenden County, and that I appreciate as well. I feel like I belong here now.
The library brings people together to not just for reading books, because there's more than just books in a library. There's just ideas and thoughts and bringing people together. It's all those things. And that's why we need libraries, because we need places we can come together and talk and sometimes just be around other people.
My entire family has used it for many years for many different reasons. We love the youth room downstairs. The staff members are always helpful and wonderful, and we can always find whatever we want or fill an afternoon with fun.
Our favorite part of the library is that the librarians are always so nice to me when I'm trying to find a book. And that after the tree lighting we get to go and decorate some toys.
I like to go to the library because it inspires children with all the sections and the books.
My favorite part of the Pierson Library is that I get to work there, which means that I have gotten to meet so many new people, and I finally feel like I am part of Shelburne because I know everybody.
There's so many resources, so many things to do, and all the staff is so fabulous.
I love the Pierson Library because my kids bike over, they go there on their own, there's one of them now. They have their books and they use their own card, and it's part of our community. It makes them feel part of the community. It enhances that for them.
And I love the Pierson Library because the collaborative relationship we have between our town library here and our school library allows many more volumes of books for children to be able to choose from.
I'm a big fan of the library. My family really uses the library in so many ways. I'm really fond of it because it is where I keep my book collection, my DVD collection, my music collection, and so on. It's very environmentally friendly. I don't like to keep all these things. I love that they're all at the library, and I can go and check them out whenever I like.
I have my mentoring session there, and it's always warm and friendly, and kids are looking around at all the beautiful books, and I get intrigued by the books too. How about you, Matt? What do you like about it?
I like the library. Well, we are lifetime library users, or at least in my kids' lifetime anyway. It's been a fabulous resource for them, for the programs. Obviously, we've gotten out more books than we can sort of remember in life.
Pierson Library has provided an amazing opportunity for my granddaughter to learn to read, to pick out books that she's gone from not being able to read to the point where she can now write stories on herself, and I can basically contribute 80% of this along with the school to the Pierson Library.
My favorite thing about the Pierson Library is the fact that it serves all the wide variety of people in our community with all kinds of things, books and audiobooks and CDs and DVDs and all kinds of interest groups, book clubs, knitting, food, everything you can think of, it's here.
I think what's great about libraries is it's a place where people of all social, economic, age groups come. It's a safe place, and it's a friendly place. So that's why I love libraries. I think it's the center of every community.
Well, I do not have one favorite thing. I love the Pierson Library because it is a place where I can be in a writing group, a reading group, a democracy group, and there are just so many things offered in the special programs through the library. And if I had to pick the first thing, it would be the staff.
I would like to let the Pierson Library know how the library affected my life in a positive way. When we first moved to Shelburne, it was a place to be able to meet others, allow the kids to play. It was a place to gather and get information and let the kids do crafts and read and check out videos.
It's given us something different to do in the community and something fun to come see.
I really like the library because all the nice librarians are really good at helping you find stuff and find just the right book that you want to read.
I really like the atmosphere, and also the location too. You can kind of just walk to the library after school and pick up your book and drop off your book and read, or you could go to the country store and get candy and then come here and read and eat candy. And also there are also so many activities, so you can come and watch a movie after school. And yeah, it's a really great place.
Why I like the Pierson Library is there's just tons of books, and and they're all different books, so there's always a different adventure in each one, and it's really fun because there's different books like chapter books and other books that are not chapter books, and they're just all different. That's why I like the Pierson Library.
The peace and quiet at the Pierson Library makes me feel calm and cozy, and also I feel like the Pierson Library is a big part of the community.
Pierson Library is very important to our community. I remember one time when I was looking for a book, they searched all over the library just to find that book. They didn't have it, so they went all the way to the Heinsberg Library to find it. That made me feel very special.
The Pierson Library is a place where Katie welcomes everybody and is always kind. Also, the library is a great place because they have tons of activities like Harry Potter Trivia Night and making ornaments. Also, the library is special to me because a couple of times I asked for a book. They didn't have it, so they ordered the book online just for me.
The library is great because it keeps our community stronger and better. I also think it is very accessible for children and adults.
The Pierson Library is important to our community. I remember one time they didn't have the book I wanted, so they went onto the Williston Library website and ordered it for me. This made me feel special. The Pierson Library is a great place because they have great staff and they have really fun camps, and you can read, and it's good for families.
When I first came to the Pierson, I had a great feeling that I was going to have a great day. Everybody was very nice. The librarian gave me a smile that I'll never wash away.
A memory of when I was at the Pierson Library was when I was 3 and my grandma called for my birthday and said I got a book dedicated to me. I went to the Pierson to see the book. Another time I went to the Pierson was to get a ghost book for Halloween. I love books because I can take a break from the real world and go on the crazy adventure the characters.
The memory I had at the Pierson Library was right after the tree lighting last year.
At the Pierson Library, I have had many good experiences, but one that really stood out was the Big Blue Trunk. The Big Blue Trunk is very fun, has lots of fun games.
Pierson Library is a great place to go because there's always a happy, calm vibe. The employees are so kind and helpful. Whenever I go, Katie always welcomes me and asks me if I need help finding a book or anything else. I am most grateful for the library for a library in our town with awesome people in it. Thank you, Pierson, for millions of wonderful stories you have brought into wonderful people's lives. I pray you make more throughout the years.
The Pierson Library has been one of my favorite places to go and read ever since I learned how. The Pierson has such a good vibe and the librarians are always so helpful when you're trying to find a good book. It's a nice place to walk to and meet up with friends. There are so many books you can almost feel pressured when you're trying to find the right one.
The reason the Pierson Library is such a great place is because of the great people that work there and all of the possibilities that are likely to happen to you.
Whenever I need a good book and I can't find one, they always supply a new great book.
I love reading books there and hanging out with my friends. Anyway, I also love the Mentos experiment that she did. The Mentos experiment was literally so much fun, and I tried to do it at home. Anyway, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the wildlife exhibits that she had, and she let an owl loose in the library. It was so much fun.
The Pierson Library has been one of my favorite places to go after school and on the weekends. Librarians at the Pierson Library are so nice and welcoming.
I'm really hoping that at the Pierson they have a volunteering job, because I would love to help out. Libraries in general are a place where I feel safe. I love to read, so being in a place full of books from floor to ceiling is really soothing. The Pierson is a place I would really like to visit someday.
The Pierson Library has many books, videos, audiobooks, and etc. that I would go there every single day if I could read that fast.
I like the Pierson Library because it's always so cozy and it's a big part of our community.
I like the Pierson Library because all the people there are so kind and they always help you find the right books for yourself.
Great. So thank you so much, Pierson Library, for taking your time and effort of providing a library that's convenient for people and providing books, movies, DVDs, everything. So thank you so much.
And what's most important to me about the Pierson Library is it is a safe haven for our kids. We have 750 kids between preschool and 8th grade, and I can tell you on any given day, probably between 30 and 50 kids will let us know that either that's where they're headed after school or that's where they were the afternoon before. They're there just basically keeping themselves safe. Every community needs a gathering point, and it's great there's books and technology. Those are all things that draw the kids there, and it's a safe place that they can be. We're really fortunate to have it in our community.
My son and I have been going there ever since he was a baby, and we would go for story time every week. And since then, he has also grown into loving the library as well and utilizes it as much as possible.
It's been a place where I could bring my babies and my young children and feel completely at home and very relaxed, and like my children could play and we could find all kinds of amazing books and feel so welcome and just play.
The most important thing to me about the library is the access to information, particularly newspapers and periodicals. And that's always been there for me. The library has always been important for that aspect of my life.
The library is a place where I go to read and go to do like summer activities in the summer with friends and family. And I really like the library because it all like the donations that go to it, and then the book sale, and it's like a second home for me.
It's just a wonderful, warm place to come, especially if you like books.
It keeps me active, and I've been a member of the library for 46 years. It's a very important part of my life.
Happy to have the resource in our community, and we look forward to supporting it in the future. Thank you, Pierson Library.